Hi, I'm Lukas Ruschitzka, and in today's video I'm going to show you how to find out if you have duplicate notes and how to fix them. Here you can see that I have recorded some chords. But when I start playback, you hear that our piano does not play these notes with their full length, but the notes are cut off. The reason for that is probably that you have double or duplicate notes. To see if that's the case, I take one note and just drag it up. And here we see that there is another note, which is extremely short. And behind the other notes, there are also these extremely short notes. So actually all these notes were recorded twice. And because of the way MIDI works, namely with note on and note off events that are sent to the instrument, these duplicate overlapping notes confuse many instruments, and that's why you think they are only the long chords, but in fact all of them are double notes. And by the way, to check if there are double notes, you need to click and drag a note, or at least draw a selection box only around the note ends, because if you select the note start, then you'll also select the short double note, so you won't be able to see it. The most common reason for double notes is that in your external devices, here in the options, you have two keyboards, two input devices that are set to the same MIDI input. So let's say you have a MIDI keyboard that sends your notes. But then you have unintentionally added two or more keyboards here in the window that receive from the same MIDI input from your MIDI keyboard. And then, of course, if you record MIDI notes on your track, and you have set your input to all inputs, then it records from all devices. But if two of them receive from the same hardware MIDI keyboard, then you get the same note twice. And then you end up with your actual note and a duplicate note at the same position and with the same pitch. So to get rid of that, make sure that all devices you have in this list are correctly set up. There's usually no reason to have two devices assigned to the same MIDI input. And actually, if you create a new keyboard and set it to a MIDI port that is already in use, then it says this port is already in use. Connecting multiple devices to the same port may lead to copied transmission of MIDI events. And that's exactly what happens. So once you have found your duplicate devices, either set the input of one of them to none, or in most cases, you don't really need one of the devices, so you can just remove one of them. And now, when you record your notes, the chords play exactly as long as expected. But what if you want to use the already recorded performance and you just want to get rid of the duplicate notes without having to delete them manually? For this, we have the Delete Short Notes macro that is really easy to use. Just open the macro toolbar, go to Music Editing here in the menu, and then click on this button and choose Delete Short Notes. That will delete all extremely short notes. You could also use Delete Double Notes, but that sometimes deletes the wrong notes, so it deletes the long ones instead of the short ones. So delete short notes will usually work better. Alright, if that has already solved your problem, that's great. Then you can stop the video here. Of course, don't forget to click the like button and to subscribe to my channel, because my channel might save your life once again in the future. But if that has not helped you because you still have these short notes, but you can't see any external devices here that receive from the same MIDI input, then the problem may be that it's your keyboard that sends the note twice. That could be, for example, because it supports different zones and you have different zones enabled that send the same note multiple times. And you have different zones enabled that send the same note multiple times. Some MIDI keyboards or workstations have a feature like this. But you can easily check that by going into the MIDI monitor, then make sure Received is checked and Note On and Off is checked. If you now play a note on your keyboard and hold it, you see if only one note shows up in the monitor or if there's more than one note. Like in my case. Here you see I press a key and the keyboard sends the same note twice, but on 2 different MIDI channels. If that happens, then you need to go into the menu of your keyboard and check if you can turn this function off and make sure that only one note is sent. I hope you found this video helpful. Please subscribe to my channel to not miss any new videos in the future. Thanks for watching.